Alright guys, back again with the throw/proc barb. And for this video I want to show you what transformation our throw barb went through and where he's come basically. So for now I will just talk about the basic setup that I have like for my endgame throw barb right now. Just the throw barb now, and the proc barb is showcased later on. So throw barbs, the weapons are the Wraithflight still. Area space I put in two 15 IAS and ED jewels. They have around 22-23 ED. Then we went with a Fortitude here, which is a pretty nice armor, right? For the enhanced damage and yeah, life, resists, pretty good all around. We still have one Ravenfrost for the Cannot Be Frozen. We are running Wartraps now for Magic Find. Nosferatu's Coil is probably best in slot. Then we have like this Wisp Projector here, which buffs our attack rating and damage up a little bit more. We have an Atma Scarab for the amp damage procs, and we have Soul Drainers. And with that equipment we can hit our IAS breakpoint because of like we need 65 when applied with Frenzy basically. So yeah, Soul Drainers are really nice, minus physical resistance, those are great. For our Mercenary, we are using still the Faith Bow. Now we have the Templars equipped and have all like resist and strength gear basically to keep her, or like to enable her from like to equip the Templars basically. For the stats we have strength to wear gear, then we have dex, like some vitality, and then rest in dex for the damage, right? So that's about the throw barb right now. How are we gonna buff that one? We are gonna go for BO or battle command twice, then we're gonna go for shout and battle orders. But we should do that on our switch. That's what I was about to say. Like we have 3 Warcry's bow spears basically. So when we bow up again, we are at 1.6k life and 350 mana. Alright, I will showcase this build in a map now, I think. I think that's the best. And I rolled a pretty easy map here. So we have some density, we have almost only stats that don't really matter to us. So we are gonna jump into that map. We are already bowed, so we can just go on and kill stuff. So as you can see, like, the build is really strong, everything dies really fast, right? Mostly like two or three glaives are already enough to kill everything. And such, so that works really well. Usually you should buff up with Frenzy a little bit and then go for like throwing action. And the amp damage procs help a lot for physical immunes. You can stay away at range, right? It's really nice for that. I would definitely actually recommend going for some way of proccing amp damage, because it's just so much quality of life. Either go for a Lacerator or go for Atma Scarab. And I find Atma Scarab to be just a little bit cheaper on an investment, because an Ath Lacerator is pretty expensive. And I think it actually doesn't make that much sense to go Lacerator, because the glaives are just so strong, you know? So for the usual throw barb, that's probably the setup I would recommend. Go for Atma Scarab, Soul Drainers, and then go for, if you can get the IAS on the Wraithflight, right? You can go for that setup. The main hand Wraithflight. And as you see, it works really well, right? We just demolish everything here, just kill it all basically, and that's about it. So what we did then was tune up the fun in the build a little bit, right? And how we did that was adding procs to our gear. So for that we have 3 items here that we want to use. And these are, first we went with Carrion Wind instead of a Wisp. You know, the Wisp Projector doesn't give too much of damage for me right now. right? I could go for 2 times Oath on the offhand and such, and then it would definitely be more like damage. But right now I'm not using many plus skills on my gear, right? I have +1 from the Annie, and then we have like +3 from our battle command. But yeah, so when we when you look at that, let me just equip double throw here. So we switch to our main hand weapon, so we are at like 4.3k min damage and 12k max damage. If I summon the Heart of the Wolverine, we go up around 100 min damage, probably also like little bit more than 100 max damage. And if you buff him again, we go up again for like, I don't know, 40 damage or something. So it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm not using the Wisp really that much because it always dies for me, because I'm not using Act 5 Mercenary and such, so yeah, it just doesn't make too much sense for me. So what we did then was equip a Carrion Wind, just like that. And you'll notice, when we jump back in, we have some Twister procs going on sometimes, like there. And those are like sometimes stunning enemies and giving us a little bit more CC. It's just basically a little bit of fun, right? It feels more like a Bowser now because of like the Wind Force procs, right? They proc Twister 2. So it kind of feels like that a little bit, I would say. Oh, you see, there's a lot of procs going on. The procs are actually really cool because each of the chains of double throw can proc a new skill from your procs, right? Which is really nice. So then we decided to try out Hellmouths, and that's where shit got crazy, I have to tell you. Because we need to have some mana leech, that's why we bought a Hellmouth with 3 mana leech. And once we throw that on, you'll notice it gets wild. Like, we are proccing boulders and meteors everywhere. It's really fun. And it's actually, the boulders are great CC. You can't neglect that. They push back so many monsters, and you can stay at range and just fire at them. And it's so much more fun. Like, it looks fucking beastly, right? Really manly build that is. Those procs are actually crazy, and I actually enjoy it quite a bit more than having like only the throw barb action. So I enjoy the Proc Barb here quite a bit more. Let's go for another pack here. And now you see, okay, there is still like the damage wise, it definitely is neglectable, right? It would be more damage to just go for like some decent soul drainers and just go for a pure throw barb. That's not in question, right? But it's way more fun that way. You know, you can CC enemies sometimes. Like one time the tier 1 boss of Bastion Keep, the ice sorceress guy, he teleported on me. I procced a molten boulder basically, and it pushed him back all the way into the wall. He didn't do shit, he didn't do nothing. He couldn't even teleport anymore because he was always in faster hit recovery lock, and it was glorious. So then we thought, well, how can we get even more proccing action in there? And that's where we came up with the War Strikes, right? Which is kind of, it doesn't really make any sense to go for the Nova for damage or something. I think it's around 1 to 200 damage or something for one Nova proc. But it has 25% chance to cast Nova, which is insane. Hellmouth only has like 8% chance to cast Molten Boulder and 4% chance to cast Meteor. And you've seen like what it does, right? So now we will equip War Strikes and our good Glaive. War Strikes main hand now. That's important because then we have a lot better attack speed breakpoints basically. So we don't even need to use Frenzy anymore to hit our breakpoints. And you see Novas going on too. And it's like, it's crazy. And it's fun. And it still clears tier 2 maps no problem, right? As you can see. Like, look at that. I think it's a great fun build, to be honest. just so fun to see all the procs happening. And the Nova procs are like, because it's 25% chance to proc, it's procking so often. I would like to believe the damage adds up, but it really doesn't. So don't get your hopes up too much. The damage isn't there for the procs, it's just like the Nova procs are basically only cool looking, and the other ones are just like a little bit of CC basically. That's about it, and cool looking too, right? Okay, so my mercenary died and we hit a rainbow facet. So I will still ID that for the video, but that's about it for the showcase. I wanted to like let you know what my Barb's up to right now. And like the brocking stuff is so fun. We managed to hit like this F Warstrike. Well, we bought it for with enhanced damage, even like 347 enhanced damage. It's a great weapon basically, but it's definitely less damage than going for a second Wraith Flight. That's for sure. Just for the funds. And easier to hit like IS breakpoints, like I said. You don't need to use Frenzy anymore. So now let's see what this facet is. 4/4 lightning. Okay. Is it die? Level up. Okay. So thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out the build, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having fun with Diablo and not only going for optimal stuff. Have fun too. It's important to keep you fresh. And yeah, see you guys around. Have a good time. Bye, guys.